Alright, so this is the throttle control for the Kohler K241. This gets attached to the governor. I'll show you in a little bit. This gets attached to the governor, which gets attached to the control, right? So this is an old Chinese carburetor, well, a newer Chinese carburetor, but I took this off to put the old one on. The old carburetor, I don't have this part with the ball right here. So in this video, I always say if you don't got it, it doesn't mean you can't fix it. So I made my own piece right here with the ball. Let me see right here. And we're gonna see how I made it, and then we're gonna try to get this on and working, right? So that's what I made out of screws and nuts, you'll see right here. And then I used the millimeter to get the millimeter of this ball to do the millimeter of this ball. This is half a millimeter bigger than this one, so let's see if it's gonna fit. Alright, you see how the shape of this one is right here? It goes in and then it's locked on the bottom. I tried to break that out, I couldn't. So to simulate that, I got a washer with a nut that's going to be on the top of the carburetor, and then I'm going to tighten these two in together, and that's going to give me that exact same shape. Alright, here's the throttle right here. See, it's missing the ball coming out of it, and this is going to the governor. So this actually controls your throttle right here, but this is what a lot of people bypass and blow their engine up. So I want this working, so I tried to simulate and make the piece. See how there's a little divot in the top right here? There's a divot underneath it also, so that's where the ball sits in place. Now here's the lock. I stretched it out, but I got to put it down because this is actually what locks it in place, but the screw is too big, so it sits on the air intake. So I am gonna, after all this is measured out, I got to cut the screw at the bottom. God dang it, now I gotta make another part. I dropped the metal piece right here. For the life of me, I can't find it on the floor. I even went over the floor with a magnet. I found everything else but the clip that's to hold this in place. So for right now, I'm gonna measure this screw at the bottom right here. Cut this so I have clearance from that screw. This is gonna get put on with Loctite. These are gonna get screwed in together to each other, and then I gotta make a clip for that. Alright, so I put these extra bolts on, and then I'm going to cut it at the bottom right here. I have to adjust it to give it enough room so I think that's the fuel intake is not discombobulated. This is a stone on a Dremel, and if you notice the stone, I was able to get a pretty good circle with this Dremel stone right here. Now if I wouldn't have lost that other piece, I could have cranked it over. Now I gotta make the lock that locks this in place, because this ball does fit in place good, so I gotta put a little bit of grease on here and then make the lock now. Alright, that's just a piece of soffit tin that I cut this off, so I gotta find something. Actually, the screwdriver is probably the same size that I gotta wrap it around. Just wrapping it around here, and then I'm gonna pinch it in and cut some of this off. Alright, see how it's pinched in there a little bit? This is actually going to come around this over the piece. Okay, that couldn't have came out any more perfect. Or see, there's the ball that I need, and here's the throttle connection to the governor, right? There's a hole I was telling you about in it. So that covers over here. You got to get yourself right back here, and then that'll cover the hole. We'll go right in here. And that's the clip that I lost. But you see, the governor can move and move everything. That goes onto the governor. And then there's underneath here, see? Goes onto the spring right here. Across right here. It's your throttle. It wasn't pulling back enough, so I put another spring right there. So now I gotta get this clip right here that I lost. Here's the piece of tin I have. Fits over perfectly. I just got to cut it shorter. Got to be about that short, so I got to cut it this way and shorter this way. Alright, that's government standard. So I find the other piece. It had the little U in it, the piece that came off. Little piece of tin, the same way. You don't want it to slide all the way off, but it got to be able to pull back and forth. Alright, So this right here, I got that's my electricity I gotta turn on right there. Alright. Then we gotta see if it starts. Work with me here, baby. Uh-oh, there's my throttle right there. Okay. Snowblower aboard this damn thing.